They were once Hollywood's golden family. Will Smith, the king of blockbuster films, who could make millions smile without a single curse word. Jada Pinkett Smith, the fierce and magnetic actress whose presence lit up every room. Their kids, Jaden and Willow, were the cool, talented prodigies the world just knew would shape the next generation. Together, they weren't just a family, they were a brand. But today, that glossy image feels like ancient history. Years of confessions, scandals, career flops, and one unforgettable slap have taken them from untouchable to endlessly picked apart in the court of public opinion. And now, the only question bigger than what happened is, can they ever recover? Long before the chaos, Will Smith's rise was the stuff of Hollywood fairy tales. Starting as one half of DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, he was a clean-cut rapper with hits like Summertime and Girls Ain't Nothing But Trouble. He even won the first rap Grammy. But when music slowed down, TV came calling. The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air wasn't just a sitcom. It was a cultural phenomenon, turning Will into a household name. Hollywood saw his potential and the movie offers poured in. From Bad Boys to Men in Black to King Richard, he became a box office guarantee. Even the occasional misfire like Wild Wild West couldn't dim his shine. His secret weapon? A squeaky clean image that made him universally likable. What no one realized at the time was that this image would one day become his biggest weakness. That image was also a cage. Will's refusal to curse in his music set him apart, but it also made him seem too polished, almost too perfect. Behind the scenes, there was a growing disconnect between the public's version of Will and the man he really was. As he promoted his autobiography, hints slipped out that the real Will was much more complicated and far less unshakable than anyone knew. Those cracks in the armor would soon turn into gaping holes after one infamous night in 2022. It should have been his crowning glory. Will Smith, decades after his sitcom debut, was finally an Oscar winner for King Richard. But instead, he walked on stage, slapped Chris Rock in front of millions, and detonated his own reputation. Overnight, the man once dubbed the nicest guy in Hollywood became the face of celebrity rage. The Academy banned him from the Oscars for 10 years, studios hit pause on his projects, and the public split into camps. Those who defended him and those who swore they'd never look at him the same way again. What came next didn't just hurt his career, it changed the entire way people talked about him. With acting offers drying up, Will Smith turned back to the art form that first made him famous: music. He hyped his comeback album, based on a true story, promising raw honesty. The features list was stacked, including Big Sean, Russ, Joyner Lucas. But when the album dropped in 2025, the reception was brutal. It failed to chart in the US, sold under 300 copies in the UK, and earned a savage 2.4 over 10 review from Pitchfork, which dismissed it as a pointless apology tour. Even worse, the only celebrity publicly praising it was Kanye West. But Will Smith's missteps weren't happening in isolation. There was another force inside the family making sure the public never forgot their drama. That force was Jada Pinkett Smith. For years, she and Will Smith were held up as proof that love could survive the chaos of Hollywood. Then came Red Table Talk. At first, it was a hit, an honest, unfiltered space for tough conversations. But over time, it became something else entirely. The most infamous episode revealed her entanglement with R&B singer August Alsina, a friend of her son's. The clip went viral, Will Smith's pained face became a meme, and the world's perception of their marriage shifted forever. And the most shocking part? That was just the beginning of Jada's public oversharing. Instead of protecting their privacy, Jada doubled down. Her memoir, Worthy, promised more revelations, but by the time it dropped, the juiciest details were already public. The book flopped, selling just 2,700 Kindle copies and failing to crack the top 100. Critics called it opportunistic. Fans saw it as more salt in Will's wounds. The backlash was loud, but while Jada was dealing with career embarrassment, her kids were facing their own battles. Jaden, once poised to inherit his father's leading man charm, has struggled to define himself outside the Smith name. He declared independence at 15, starred in a few films, and launched a music career with SYRE. But while he sees himself as a generational artist, the public mostly sees memes and overconfident quotes about how deep he thinks he is. His music gets polite nods, not cultural impact, and the family drama overshadows any creative progress. The sad truth? For Jaden, every new release feels less like a career move and more like a reminder of what could have been. Willow's path has been different. She burst onto the scene at age 9 with Whip My Hair, a song she later admitted she hated. The early fame pushed her into depression, and she even shaved her head mid-performance as a symbolic break from that era. Over time, she found her footing, experimenting with genres from R&B to pop-punk. Her latest project, Empathogen, has earned her critical respect, and she's now opening for Coldplay. In a family where everyone else seems to be spiraling, Willow is quietly leading the comeback charge. The twist? She's even embracing the song she once despised, turning it into an anthem for reinvention. And then there's August Alsina, the man at the center of the entanglement storm. Once a rising R&B star with a Billboard-topping debut album, his career became forever tied to the Smiths after his relationship with Jada went public. While he insists he's moved on, the shadow of that revelation still follows him. He even leaned into the controversy with a song called Entanglement before shifting toward reality TV. But behind closed doors, some claim his version of events is far more explosive than he's ever let on. In less than a decade, the Smiths went from Hollywood royalty to a family-sized cautionary tale. They invited the world behind the curtain, and the world didn't like what it saw. Now, rebuilding their image might be the hardest role they've ever had to play. And in the age of the internet, where nothing is ever forgotten, the real question isn't just if they can recover. It's if the audience will even let them. In the end, the Smith family story isn't just about fame or failure. It's a reminder that even the most polished Hollywood image can crack. And when it does, the whole world is watching. Whether they find redemption or fade further into controversy, one thing's certain: this saga is far from over, and every new chapter is guaranteed to make headlines. So if you want to keep up with every twist, turn, and jaw-dropping reveal from Hollywood's biggest names, make sure you tap that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications. That way, you'll never miss the next big celebrity story the moment it breaks.